All right, this is going to be episode 2 of the T.W.K. Ordinance cast. Hopefully, we don't have any royal audio issues like last time because I'm incapable of reading because I have just a touch of the tism. Not a full tism, just a touch of it.
Just only a tiny bit.
Yeah, it doesn't count. Doesn't count as full. Although I did spend some time in those special rooms in school. But anyway,
Did it
um,
rub off from Zach?
yeah, if I had to blame someone, I would pick him. That's right. Someone who really had nothing to do with it. But I picked Zach to put the blame on here as well. But anyway, well, since we are super prompt and we never miss a schedule and there are never scheduling issues, how was your week?
Yeah.
Your last week since the last podcast, which was definitely a week ago and not 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to think. So that first week, that
No, there's only
didn't
been 1 week.
happen.
There's only been 1 week.
So, I mean, the first half of the week, I probably
The first half. That's great.
I probably skipped a lot of school.
Skipped a lot of school. Whoa.
I did a lot of mornings.
You're being
mostly.
a naughty boy?
A few mornings, or like if it was like a sub in my last period class, I would just because there's this cool thing, right? Since me and my dad have the same name, I get to just call my school
That's
as
terrible.
my father.
That's terrible.
Yeah. So
That's terrible. So I have the reverse downside of that. I'm still on my family's phone plan. So okay, so just in case I haven't spilled the beans before, I'm a lead painter for a specific university. So I talk a lot with other departments, right? Like I talk to people and I'll call them or send them emails like, "Hey, we're going to come and we're going to paint this room on this day." And that's pretty much my whole job. And then the other half is doing the painting work. But anyway, so I'll call people, right? And I'll call people that I've never called before who are heads of departments, right? And they'll get the phone call and they'll look at it and the caller ID says Gary Taylor because I'm on my dad's phone plan, right? So they answer
nice.
and they go hello and I go, "Hi, my name's Jason Taylor and I'm this," and so on and so forth, right? And every single time I show up to the department on the day that's scheduled or whatever, and we have a nice chat with them, and then they're like, "Who's Gary?" And I was like, that's my dad because I'm still on this phone plan, and it's so
Oh
awkward.
God.
It's enough of an
Yeah.
issue that I'm gonna get my own phone plan. I'm gonna take a financial hit so I don't have to have those conversations anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, that's.
Yikes, dude.
I hate being an adult or something.
6 months.
So you can call and check yourself out, huh? A benefit most of us didn't get to have in high school.
Well, once you turn 18, you could do that.
Well, unless you live in Idaho, yeah.
Yeah, once you turn 18, you're allowed to. But
you might legally be able to do that, but certain cults who will remain nameless don't allow such objectivity.
So let's talk about religions.
No.
Yikes.
When your dad checks you out, does it still count as an absence? And are you capped at a certain amount of absences before you lose credit for the class? That's how it worked in high school for me.
So you don't lose any credit. So it literally depends on what you say you're out for. If you say you're going on vacation, then they're just gonna mark you absent. They don't care.
Yeah.
But if you say you have a doctor's appointment or orthodontist because I have braces, stuff like that, they just don't. It's called a justified in the attendance book.
Justified. That's gold.
Yeah.
Dude, so that's
you have
sick.
You have tardy, truant, absent, and then justified.
Dude, how school worked for me was you got 8 absences for each class, and if you were not there for more than 8 of those, if you were absent more than 8 times, you just lost full credit for the class and you had to take it again.
Wow.
And how being tardy worked was you could have 3 tardies before they get mad at you. I never had more than that, so I don't actually know what happened after you got more than that, but if you were tardy, if you were late up to 10 minutes, and then if you were more than 10 minutes late, it counted as an absence. So some people would just get boned because you were gone for too long or you were like too late.
Jeez.
Yeah, and it was like a hard rule on the 8 absences. It was pretty brutal.
Man.
But
Yeah, ever since I got a vehicle, it just has made it so much better and easier. So
ever since I got a license in high school, it made it so much harder to go to school because I didn't want to and I didn't have to anymore. I had to choose to, and that's a bunch of garbage.
that's kind of where I was last. The first half of this week.
Horrible. Horrible. Great school system. So good for your
Because
education.
that's how that was. Like we weren't doing anything, so I was just like gone.
And then you also mentioned the abuse of substitutions as well, huh? You really destroy those poor teachers that don't know what's going on.
Oh, the second I see him, I'm
You're
just
like,
I'm just
oh,
like out.
easy day. Starts rubbing your hands together. You're like, looks like we're dipping.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go. Goodbye. Most of them are like used to it, honestly, and I just like go and I hop the fence.
Being a substitute teacher must suck so
It's really
bad.
funny. Our school makes a big deal about security,
Dude, can
but
you
like
explain? Wait. Can you
literally,
explain the fence really fast? Because I'm always a little bit confused about it. It's like an epic, legendary. It's like in Game of Thrones. It's like the wall, you know.
the
like,
wall. Yeah,
explain to us
yeah.
this fence without
So
doxing yourself, of course.
so
Hopefully, it's not like. Hopefully, it's not like the
No,
wall.
I'm
Because if
pretty
it
sure
is,
it's pretty
everybody'll know what
standard.
it is.
Yeah, no, it's so no. The wall is when I say the fence, it's just like the fencing around the school.
uh, why are
Um,
we hopping the fence instead of like going through the normal
because
gateways?
I'm not supposed to go out, and they
Mm.
have people there.
This is the sneakiest way. I get it.
Yeah, like so like I don't have a reason to be. I'm not supposed to be out. I'm about to go to my truck and then be my father. So
Right.
I can't
And
be
then
like.
be my father. Absolute gold. Nice. Do you
um
talk in a different voice when you call in too? Do you try and like
So I feel like I kind of try to lower it a tiny bit, but I can't go like that far
right.
because of the fact that like then it's obvious.
Right.
But there has been a few times where like they've asked me like, so what's your name, and I have to be like also Rick Harris, and they like pause for a second.
No, dude,
Oh
you need to hit it with like Rick Senior. I'm Rick Senior. My son
yeah,
is Rick Junior. That's what you need to hit it with.
yeah,
That's great. What a Chad. Well, okay, so we blew off school for the first half of the week, right, and then the second half.
I went most of like pretty yeah. I went most of the days. I missed like first period on Wednesday for
When are
orthodontist.
you
So
done with school? It's got to be coming up soon.
June 7th.
So 2 more weeks, huh? Whoa.
Yeah,
Good, and
coming
then
to
you're
a
free.
close.
Nice.
Yeah,
You excited?
yeah.
And then we start senior year next.
So close.
So close. Yet actually so far. But anyway,
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like
dude, what are our plans for summer? Are we gonna work at Jersey Mike's?
man, I don't know. I'm still been applying to jobs. I've been rejected from a total of 8 jobs now for not being the 18 years of age.
If you
Um,
can't get a job, what's gonna be the plan?
man, I don't know.
Are you
I
gonna
like
be a
have to
degenerate
get
for the
one.
summer, or why do you have to
Dude,
get
I
one?
can't. I have to because like I'm in debt and it's getting worse by the
I'm in
month.
debt. Who are you in debt to?
The car man.
The car man, right? So it's just the car payment.
The car man, and also I'm supposed to be paying for my gas, but I've just been doing favors
Of
for like
course,
my family to get gas money.
that's pretty brutal.
Yep. That's why I'm pretty much an Uber. That's why like the second my dad's like, "Hey, go get food from Taco Bell." I'm like, "Okay." No questions asked, because that way at the end of the week I have to be like, hey, Dad,
Yeah,
I
four
need
trips later, you have to be
I
like,
need.
I don't have any gas money, and I'm a child, and I don't have any. Can you help, please?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's
I feel
great.
bad every time, but it sucks every single time.
That's
But like
great.
nowhere, it sucks the most because most places just like don't even reply. They just like
Yeah,
we'll
well,
get
you're
back
too
to you.
young, so why would they?
Yeah, sorry, dude.
That's pretty brutal. Well, hopefully that works out, huh? That'll be real. What happens if you like can't? What's gonna happen? Are you gonna get
I don't know.
boned?
I don't think there's a can't. I think I have to keep trying.
What if you keep trying and you physically can't though?
I don't think that's
That's not an option, huh?
that's not an option. That's like
Oh
flat out
goodness,
not an option.
dude! What you're describing is like
Something's gonna happen.
what you're describing is what like 90% of adults experience just in their life. Because you take out the loan for the car, you take out the loan for the house, and then it's like, wow, like I don't want to go to work today or get a new job because I have to go. It's not even a choice anymore.
Yeah.
Pretty brutal. Well, maybe you can learn some valuable life lessons here about how you don't like to be under the thumb of other people. That's how you get
Yeah, no,
tricked.
I always hated it. This is just like the worst it's ever gotten. Luckily it's just the insurance, so
The
it's
worst it's ever
only
gotten.
it's just the insurance. So the thing is it's a very like doable if you just have like income. Like if you just have the minimum wage.
How much? How much is required every month? Not exclude like your actual money for like gas and whatnot. Because in theory, you don't
It
have to drive anywhere,
it's
but
$200 a month.
just a flat 200, huh?
Yeah.
That's not bad. You could
Yeah,
easily do that with
exactly.
something
Yeah,
that's like part
exactly.
time too.
If you have like any income at
You
all
need
that's like
to
standard
you
and
need to
you're
go
working like
find some gas station owner and be like, "Can I sweep the floor for $10 every week?"
yeah. Yikes.
That sounds like a yikes, dude.
That sounds like where we're heading.
That's pretty brutal, actually.
Yeah.
Dude, why don't you just be like, your old mentor Gun and mow people's lawns? That could be what you do in high school. You could be the lawnmower
We don't have
guy.
a lawnmower and I don't have the money to dish out for a lawnmower.
Your family doesn't own a lawnmower?
We live in Simi Valley, so we're like the upper middle class. So we have gardeners
Of course. But you don't own.
that come every Thursday.
Wow, dude.
Nope.
Have you asked them? You should go out on Thursdays when they show up. Like, hey, are you guys hiring? Can I come work for
No, I go
you?
out there and I give them extra money
What? Why?
for for picking up dog poop.
Oh, okay. Nice.
But
Good.
then I also don't think they like me because they always put the trash cans right behind my truck. So our driveway is only paved to have technically like two cars, right? So
Uh-huh.
like the opening to the street is for two cars, but it's a 3-car driveway. So since I'm the big truck, I get to go over the curb.
Yeah. Yeah, you're the guy who parks like a dick. Yeah.
No, I always make sure I'm straight because I hate parking like crooked. But like it's always like a balancing act because I'm like trying to. It's so hard.
Yeah.
Not hard. It's just annoying. And the thing is, if people put stuff right behind my truck, like our gardeners put our trash cans on Thursdays because they get taken on Fridays. I like sometimes I just can't get out, so I have to like get out of my truck sometimes. And there's been times I'm running late, and it's annoying.
We just had a 3-minute rant about the most first world problem I've ever heard in my whole life.
Yep.
That's great. That's
Yep.
pretty unlucky. Have you tried telling them to not put the trash cans there?
No. Because they're always picking up my dog's poop and I like feel bad. I'm
Mm,
like, all right, sorry guys, here's $10.
dang, bro. Dude, you're gonna have to figure this job thing out, it sounds like.
Oh yeah, big time.
Well, good luck. Good luck with that, I guess. I don't There's always OnlyFans, I guess, at the end of the day. Oh,
Not
never.
for another 6 months.
Right. Six more months. My bad. In
Yeah,
6 months.
man. I know a girl at my school that just turned 18.
Okay, we're
and
done. We're done. We're done. Well,
it's
let's
just a
just
feet
stop
finder.
there. Let's just stop there.
It's
You
just a
know,
feet
in
finder.
theory, you could do some feet only fans right now if you wanted to. Maybe that's the option. Maybe
Oh
get a little
God.
pedicure and pretend to be a female. That's pretty common. You could do it. I know a
I had
guy
to get
who will help start your career.
I had to get a manicure and a pedicure for my mom's wedding
Why was
for
a
some reason.
pedicure required? Were you
I
not
I
wearing
had to go
shoes?
get a manicure and a pedicure with my mom's husband,
Right, right.
or with the groom.
No, I remember this,
Just
but
me and him. Yeah.
I remember this, but my question still stands. Why was the
I don't
pedicure required?
I asked the same thing multiple times.
Yeah.
Never got a straight answer.
Did
They
you
were
like
just like,
it?
just do it.
Did
No,
you
I hated it. I hated it because
the
they
manicure or
cut
the
my
pedicure?
nails. The pedicure was like fine. Like they just like cut my nails and my feet just like got put in a jacuzzi for a
Right,
minute.
right.
Um, but my fingers, they cut my nails like super close, like super far down. So like every time I like picked anything up or like touched
Yeah.
anything on my fingertips, my like fingertips
Oh,
hurt.
that's brutal.
Yeah.
Dude,
And I was like, I
how
hate
come you didn't say
this.
anything after they did it to the first finger though? That's kind of on you.
Well, I was already in a bad situation and I just was wanting to get out of there as soon as possible.
I see. Dude, I used to be that way, but then like being an adult and like living through enough of those experiences, I'm just the dick now, and I'm like, hey, you screwed that up. You need to fix that.
Yeah, well, there was like other moral standings on why I hated it, but it was for my mother, so
Right.
that's the only
The
reason.
the woman that we love so much, who's been so kind to us in our life.
Yep.
Well, that's sick. I'm glad that we got a little canon Ricky lore update. That was cool.
Yep.
That was awesome. Well, I guess it's my turn. Only fair for me to go next.
Yep.
Dude, what did I do? We've had a lot of thunderstorms. A lot of tornado. We're on tornado watch like every day, which is kind of butt. And Mr. Beast just loses his mind. His mind is completely broken, and he just bites my power cords to my computer all the time. And it's outrageous. And I kept leashing him. I tied the leash around the bathroom door handle and close it. And then I put the leash on him so he like couldn't go anywhere. But then I felt bad because that looks super inhumane. So I bought him this little doggy playpen, which is now half of our living room. And it's his favorite home, and he's happy now. And I fixed that problem. But for like 4 days, he's so weird about it too. He doesn't do it unless I'm on my computer. Like I have to be on my computer and using it for
That's
him
'cause
to
he
come by
wants
the
you to
power
get off.
cords. But like it's not even like an attention thing. Like I can sit down and be on my phone, or like I can do anything else, and he's
He
completely
just
fine.
doesn't like you playing
It's
the
just the
games.
second that I get on my computer,
hates
and
it.
it's so dumb.
What if instead you like armored or like fenced off the cables instead?
I could, but like I don't really know.
Smaller fence
I don't
around
really know a
cables.
great way to go about that. I don't know.
Get I don't know. Yeah.
Anyway, I bought the playpen, and he's so funny. So like, we've been putting him in there like a little bit, but for the most part, my wife, he's been home, and he's like, oh, so I guess that's the other caveat. He's completely chill when she's here. If she leaves, loses his mind and starts biting my power cords, which is awesome, and I love that. But anyway, she was gone for like 12 hours or something yesterday, and so I put him in there for like the first time for like a long period of time. And he was like scratching. He always like scratches at it a little bit because he wants out, you know? But then after a while, he'll like usually settle down. But yesterday, he went hard, you know? We're scratching at it. We're biting at it as violently as we can. And then we started the bowl strategy. He'd back up to the other end, and then he'd ram at it as hard as he could. And it's like a netting, right? So he'd just like catch his head and he'd like bow it out a little bit. And it was the funniest thing.
Yikes.
But then after like 20 minutes, or not 20 minutes, after like 2 hours of me ignoring him, he finally settled down and went to sleep. But that's been my life for like the last 2 weeks. Just Mr. B's. Just every night there's thunder and rain, and he starts to lose his mind. If we're in the bedroom, he comes and tries to sit on my head, or his new thing is go into our closet and just start scratching up everything and digging everything up and trying to jump on stuff. And it makes it impossible to sleep at night. And it's pretty miserable. I love having a dog. Yay. Are your
You love
dogs
them though.
scared of thunder and rain, like rainstorms and thunder?
Um,
Do they like freak out?
no, not really. I mean, when they first start, maybe for like the first like 5 minutes, because like, whoa, what the freak? But like after like 5 minutes, they're like, okay, this is just life now.
Dude, Mr. B starts just shaking, and he'll just shake like a schizophrenic for just the whole time
Yikes.
and several hours after. It's so bad. Like he'll start shaking. He starts like
All my dogs
chanting.
get more cuddly actually. Like
He won't
I'll just
sit
get
down. Like it's outrageous.
I'll just get in my dad's bed, and all of the dogs will just lay in the bed. It's just like covered in dogs, and we'll just like watch a movie.
Dude, that sound. Everybody I
And the
ask says that their dogs are not like they are okay with thunderstorms. I'm like, man, we got really freaking unlucky with this guy.
Well, that's what you get for getting a Shiba.
A little wimpy, weak
Yeah,
baby.
Shiba.
He's so cute though.
Yeah, they're really cute dogs, but I'd hate to own one because they're so.
I don't mind. It's like slightly annoying. It's like a slight
You
inconvenience.
should you should see my aunts. Oh my gosh, they don't discipline them at all, and those things are literal
Dude,
toddlers,
we do
bro.
the opposite of
It's
discipline here, and my
terrible.
wife just babies him, and he always gets whatever he wants, and he gets treated like a little princess. So he's an extra level of pathetic on top of it.
Yikes.
He's fine though. Most of it's fine. Not really mind. He sheds so much. That's like the biggest downside. If I had to pick one, there's just always dog hair everywhere and on all of my clothes, no matter how hard I try, which is pretty
Yeah.
pretty butt.
So you wanna know my trick with that?
Sure,
Um.
hit me with the dog hair
So
removal.
first off, never black pants. That's not allowed. Um.
Well, I'm not a kid from the emo 2008 era,
Yeah.
so that's not
Okay.
an issue
Just
for
making
me.
sure. Um. And then
Do I take a
pretty
hit
much
out of my vape
any.
now?
Yeah.
Right, guys?
Yeah. Um. And then any shirt, just right before you start getting ready, just throw it in the dryer.
Throw
And
it in the
then
dryer.
and then that's
You
the
do like
last
a
thing you
full
put on.
cycle, or
No, I just put it on like a speed cycle or like a 5 minute thing because it only takes me like 5 minutes to get dressed once I'm ready.
right?
Um, so I just like throw it in the dryer real quick, so that way it's for sure doesn't have any dog hair, and that's like the last thing I put on, and I have like a nice warm shirt. It's really nice in the mornings because then I
Interesting.
have a nice warm shirt.
Hmm. What
Yeah, I
a
throw on cologne, and then we're out the house.
what a strategy, huh? Is
Yeah,
that meta? Is that the meta strat?
I think that's my current meta for
That's your
having four large
that's your current meta,
animals.
huh? Do they shed quite a bit?
Oh my gosh, dude, you should see my house.
There's
I
just
have
like
two German
an
shepherds and
inch
a
of dog hair
Siberian
on the floor at
husky.
all times.
Yeah, so like we vacuum and we'll wake up like the next morning and I swear like they'll already be like dog hair like kind of lining the halls.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's really bad. It's getting really bad right now because it's getting to summer. Like during the winter
and they're
it's
blowing their
completely fine.
coat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because during the winter it's completely fine. And we also get them groomed, but especially when my dad's gone, it gets kind of like delayed. So like we get, especially right now, we get bouts of like mad dog hair, and it's pretty intense
Yeah,
at times.
Mr. Beast blows his coat like 2 times a year. It's like once right before winterish, and then once in like the beginning of summer. And yeah, there's just even when he's not like shedding profusely, there's just always an inch of hair on the floor. We probably vacuum or mop it up once or twice a
No, I
week, and it's outrageous.
we get our dogs groomed. So like when my dad's here and they're going like regularly, like I think it's like once every other month or something. I forgot. It's usually pretty good. Like they like don't really shed like that much at all. Like we vacuum like once a week at that point, and then it's just completely
Dude,
fine.
when you guys like take them to the groomers to get them groomed, do you like is it like a full? Do they like cut their nails every once in a while, or like?
I don't. I think so. I think so.
It kind of sounds like you aren't very
I'm
hands
not
on
very
with the
sure.
grooming.
So no, because for the first like year, I wasn't. It was just always my dad. Um, because the times that it would happen, I was always at school. But then when I got to high school, the times changed. So like, there's more times where like I was there to help him.
Yeah.
So like that's why that's when I started kind of going. And my only thing was getting the dogs there. I kind of just hand them off to the people, and they're just like, "All right, we'll call you." And yeah,
We'll call you.
yep.
Nice.
As I walk away, listening to my Siberian Husky scream at everyone.
Yeah. Do they get pretty mad when you like leave them there? Like they don't like.
So Lance is pretty all right with it.
Of course, Lance
Uh,
is. Lance is the
he
golden child.
he's just like, all right, we're gonna be back. Gunner doesn't want to leave. He's like, man, don't leave me here. It's just a face of don't leave me here,
That's
please.
so sad.
He's like, I don't want to. Like he like literally refuses. He's the most stubborn because he's the biggest, so he could fight the hardest. Um, Luna, she is like really cool right up until you have to hand her off. Like right when you hand her the leash,
Yeah.
she starts
Well,
like
she
trying
thinks
to
if
be
she
like,
can be good enough, you'll take her back and you won't give her
yeah,
away.
she doesn't have to go.
She's like, look how good I'm being. Look, I'm a good dog. No, don't leave me.
Yeah. So then, the second she gets, because they have like a bunch of kennels, because there's like a bunch of dogs there that they're doing. So they put them in the kennel, and the second that she goes in the kennel, she starts like yelling at the other dogs, which I asked them, and apparently it stops after like 5 minutes after I
Well,
leave.
yeah, as soon as you're not there, there's no need for it anymore. It's just a waste
Yeah.
of our energy. We're only putting
Yeah.
on a show for you. Like, that's all it is.
And then, actually, I don't think Bunny has gone to the groomers yet because that's our newer dog, and she's like a short hair, so she doesn't really shed as much.
Thank goodness. Yeah, dude, that's literally the only downside to having a dog. It's the hair. Like, there's some other things that aren't my favorite, but they're like pretty put upable.
I
But the hair is pretty brutal.
Yeah, I think that is probably the only downside is the shedding. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree.
Anyway, so that was the last 2 weeks for me. It was just like World War B's is what happened, and I won just for
Wow.
the record. Cause dude, and the playpen, like he's in there right now, and like I didn't put him in there. The door isn't closed. Like he just went in there. Like he just likes being in there now. It's his favorite spot. So,
Nice.
big win for me. And I guess the last part to my last week is that I'm 22 now, as of 48 minutes ago.
Wow.
Yep. So I'm a
Happy,
whole big kid.
happy,
Just kidding. No age is relevant after 21.
happy birthday.
Wow.
Yeah, because nothing
Thanks.
matters once you can own firearms.
Maybe like 24. That's like the age that you can
Are
like
you
rent
ready
cars.
for the UN to come?
I am. I'm ready to get drafted. Is that what
Are you
we're
ready to collect helmets?
to collect helmet the blueberries? Just
Yeah, you ready to collect them? Like, yep.
no, nope. I'll be the guy who either goes to prison instead of getting drafted or um it just depends on how violent I'm feeling on that day, you know?
Ah, that's a good moment for an ad for you. Wow, that's some good timing.
Yeah, well, everything's fine. So anyway,
Anyways,
so yeah, those are my last 2 weeks. Pretty uneventful, I think. Outside of I guess well, I'll lead into the rest of our topics here with what I've been playing for the last few weeks. So since the last podcast, that was like the day that I downloaded V Rising. I probably should have put that down in the Google Doc. V-Rising, the vampire game. I don't know if you've seen.
Yeah, I've seen a few clips of it. It's like a
Yeah,
top down.
it's kind of like it's like a Souls game, so like Dark Souls and whatnot. But then it's like kind of in a Rust form, but then like it's top down. It's a little hard to
It kind
explain.
of looked like Diablo to
Very,
me.
very similar. Like very, very, very similar. But like
Like it
worse, worse in
looks.
every way is the caveat.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looked. That's why every time I saw it, I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
it was okay. It wasn't bad. It's got like some pretty hefty like design flaws. They
I
have
liked
like,
vampires. You
well,
know.
vampires kind of suck though, so that kind of,
Exactly. I don't think they're
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So like that's why.
The gameplay's like super crisp. They've got a really solid engine. Like it's very similar like League of Legends. Like everything's like very responsive, and like I have like a lot of control over my character, which is like really fun.
Yeah, that's all. That's all you could really
Their
want.
their world is pretty cool. There's like a lot of like items and like there's like a lot of content, which is pretty nice. But there are like some fatal design flaws. Like their boss fights are like really bad. They have some really bad hit registration issues with like the textures of ground and then like anything that's like projectile. I take back
How?
the
Wait, when you
projectile.
say like
Like
when you shoot projectiles, is it like not a like you click on the bad guy and you fire?
Some stuff is, but some stuff isn't. So like there's like everything. Like there are melee weapons, there are pistols, there are like spells that you cast, there are like point clicks, there are like slow moving. You can shoot like a wolf at people with like one of the spells. There's just like most of the hit registration is nothing that comes from your character has trouble hitting. It's like it's everything
Just the
else hitting
hitbox.
you, and it's almost exclusively based on their textures. So like if you're in a boss fight
Whoa.
and it's like an actual flat, like full flat, no other textures ground, it's perfectly fine. But if there's like a rock or a bump or a strip of grass or a carpet or anything like that, if you're like standing on it, like stuff will hit you that should not in any world hit you. And like it's kind of wild.
Nice.
So
That's
like
very fun.
no, it's not. And so there are some big issues there. And then like so you have a dash, right? And it's kind of like Flash in like League of Legends. It's the exact same as Flash, but it's like even one step further. Like you are untargetable in your dash. So like you can avoid all damage, and that's kind of like a key point in
Yeah.
the game. But there are like 3 or 4 bosses that all have like an ability each that do damage to you in your dash. But they're the only ones that do that. So just like out of nowhere, you play 50 hours of this game, right? And your dash is like a permanent get out of jail free card. You never take damage in it, right? And like you pick that up over 50 hours and you abuse it, right? And you get to this boss fight and he can damage you in your dash, and you're like, what is going
Oh,
on?
yikes. Yeah, so wait, is there not like different like classes in that game?
No,
Really?
there's no class. You're just like a default vampire, and then there's like, okay,
Man, so
there are like
the
15 melee weapons. 15 weapons is what I should say. There's like a sword, a broadsword, a
yeah,
whip,
yeah,
a
yeah.
spear, and all of them have like 3 different abilities each, which is like already unique to like how you're going to use them. And then there are like 5 spell skill trees. It's like blood, chaos, green undead, blue something, and then yellow. Yeah, so 5. And then each of those 5 have 3 skill spots, and each one has another 3. So you can like pick, right? And like the blood one has like leech where you like heal, and chaos has like ignite where you hit somebody and sorry, I had a weird burp there. And they like burn for a minute, and then undead like spawn skeletons when you kill somebody, and the yellow one's lightning, and yada yada yada, right? So you can like mix the skills, or like you can full tilt into one. Do you get like the most benefits for one type, or and that's kind of how it works. There's not really like and then there are like different armor sets. So like I guess a good example of like kind of how like your classes can sort of work is like I ran a whole bunch of spell leech, so like I wanted to heal whenever I hit anything.
Yeah.
And Zach would run, or so that pushed me into wearing like beefier armor, and then stuff that would give me like weapon speed, or like weapon attack speed, or like weapon attack leech. And then Zach would run like scholar stuff, and he was like a full mage, and he'd just like sit at the back of everywhere and just like cast spells. And so he'd have like some spell leech, or like most of it was just like raw damage output or like cooldowns on your spells and whatnot. But there's really kind of only one way to play the game. So like that's kind of the other downfall. Is like you really can't just
Yeah.
like be a tank and hit stuff. Like you permanently, no matter how beefy you get, you permanently get one shot by everything. And there is no
Yeah.
one shot protection. Like you literally get one shot.
So, but the only game like that I played somewhere was Diablo, so that's what I'm kind of like trying to relate
Yeah.
it to.
It's
And
extremely similar to Diablo.
so the way you made it sound like was like, especially with like the dashes, made it sound like my first playthrough with my rogue build. But I had like 6 different abilities that just kind of made me untargetable while I was doing
Yeah.
damage.
Yeah. So
Like there's literally one ability that I would go invisible on top of the person and start stabbing them, and I like they can't do anything
well,
about
yeah,
it
you're invisible. They can't see
for
you.
like 5 seconds. It's for like 5 full seconds.
You're
I was just
invisible. How
that's
are they gonna see you,
so
dude?
so that would be like the end of the combo. So like for that 5 full seconds, all my stuff is regenning, and then I'd jump back out, and I'd also run a leech build.
Right.
So all of my stuff is healing me at the same time, even though I don't need to because I'm not getting hit.
Yeah, yeah.
But just in case if I mess up, of course.
So like that's where like the
Which would
pitfall.
happen
That's like the
because
pitfall of
server
V
sucked.
Rising is like like I had this conversation a lot with Zach, and like you'll notice because of the everything else that we do here at T.W.K. and like the way that I run like Tarkov is like I'm extremely full tilt, and like whatever direction, like I think you just have to be full tilt. That's like kind of the only way that it works out. And V Rising is like the exact opposite. They're like, we're gonna go in the middle of a little bit of everything, which like it results in like some cool stuff where like they've got bits from
Yeah.
a ton of other games that are like really cool, but then like none of it's like fully fleshed out or like works properly. So like the whole game, it's like, wow, this is cool, but then you're left with like they missed really bad in like some parts, and
Yeah.
it's like it's kind of interesting. I'm pretty torn. I definitely don't think that I like. I don't know that I'd say that I liked it. It was fun. I cranked 80 hours in because I didn't want Zach or anybody else to tell me that I couldn't give it an honest opinion. And like some parts of it were fun. Like I liked using the super OP pistols. But like it couldn't decide what it wanted to be. Like half the time it was like a mega power fantasy, and then the other half of the time it's like my weapons don't do any damage, my skills don't do any damage. It doesn't matter what I pick. Every boss fight is just cast skill, walk around for 14 seconds trying to dodge skill shots, cast skill, walk around for 14 seconds. Like and like that's
Yeah.
like the only way to play the game. There really aren't any other options. So it
I
was
guess that
fine. It was fine. I give it like a 5 out of 10. I don't think that I'd recommend it to anybody if you're super interested in like vampires and you really love that style of game. So like that's the other problem. Is like I hate that style of game. Like I don't like power fantasies for the most part. I don't like the boss fighting. Like I mean look at who I am. I play games where the boss is Rashala and I can just one tap that guy with the TT at any point in the game. Like I like that. I like that way more like realistic side of thing, or like even like campaigns that I like if you think about like Wildlands or something, like there's no boss that's just like this infinite bullet sponge. You know, there
yeah,
might be a
I
boss that's
think
like slightly more armored. It's like, oh, he's gonna take
the
4
only
bullets
one
instead of
in
1.
Wildlands was like the Predator, I think, and that was like
That is
literally
the
the
only
hardest boss in
actual
the
boss
entire
fight,
game.
and I thought
Yeah.
that was really dumb. Actually, I hated that boss fight.
Yeah,
So
it was
yeah.
so annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just like it's just like not my style of thing. That's why like I never played Elden Ring, and I don't really like the Souls games, and like I never really played Diablo. I'm just like I'm not a boss fight kind of guy. That's like a big downside to games. That just not really for me.
Yeah,
The
I
exception
agree actually. Yeah.
the exception for me is like Risk of Rain and Gunfire Reborn, where like I can get so ahead and like optimize my build so much I can show up to that boss fight and I can one shot him, or it's like a
Yeah.
2 or 3 hit, and like I like that's just like rewarding the player for like being smart and like optimizing your build, and like that's not in this game at all. Like you are guaranteed to have a 50-second boss fight at minimum that's like painful and slow, and it's just not like my favorite by any means, but So I pounded out some V Rising. That's a game, it exists. Not bad. Like I said, I don't know that I'd super recommend it. I like if you want to play something like that, just go play Diablo 4. Um, the downside is that's a $60 game. Pretty brutal, but I don't know. It's
I'm pretty
like
sure it's 70.
yeah, Blizzard is they're robbing.
I'm like 98% sure it's $70.
Yeah. But anyway, so I played a
That
bunch of
would
V
be
Rising.
pretty sad.
Gray Zone has had 2 patches. Or I guess one of them's not a patch. One of them was a big hotfix. They fixed a bunch of issues. You can't like kill people in your fob with grenades anymore, which is good. They had some other big changes. They removed M856A1 from the Tier 3 traders. I don't know. I guess you probably don't know about this. I made a video giving my review of the game and everything, and some of the stuff I found that was broken. And
I watched the beginning of it. Yeah, I watched like the first
M856.
minute.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you wouldn't watch the whole video.
Well, fuck you. Okay. I saw
M856
it in one shot.
A1 one shots through the best body armor in the game in the chest. You just die like permanently.
Wow.
Yeah, so that round's a little busted. So they removed it from traders. You can't buy it anymore. So as far as I'm aware, I guess you can like find it in, like magazines out in the world, but other than that, it's pretty much gone.
So, did you buy a stupid amount of it before it was gone?
No, I didn't know it was leaving, and I was like,
Oh,
I pretty much one full week I was like just playing V Rising with Zach because I was helping him get achievements and stuff. So I
see.
didn't really prep up for it. I've also not played a ton of Gray Zone in the last week because like I'm pretty much done with all the tasks. I have like 10 left, and then like I don't have very many. Most of my Tarkov crew is either still playing Tarkov or has like withered away and died. So I don't have like an
Yeah.
actual squad to play the game with, which is like where that excels. Like taking 5+ people into Gray Zone is like where it is the most fun, and like you hit that peak just like in Tarkov, where like that rolls over into like the most fun game experience you can have out of anything ever. But like you've got to have 5 people that are like willing to play for 4+ hours straight, that like all kind of know what's going on and like want to be there. And that's just like
Yeah.
not something that I've kind of had for like the last couple of weeks, really since like the last wipe in Tarkov. Dude, Everyday Dragon sends me like an update of his EFT account. He's like, I'm a 53 now. I'm like, why don't you play at the start of the wipes with us? You psycho. I hate you.
Yeah.
But and then Ricky just doesn't play games with us anymore.
Yeah.
So any big
No
downside.
video games.
But they've in a couple of their, dude, I don't even know what they're called. They're like community dev blog videos that they post. They've been talking about like adding the day and night cycle and like tactical equipment for your guns, like flashlights and everything. And they basically said that like all of it's like planned and most of it's like mostly done, but they're not going to add it till they get the servers running the way they want. I bought the game for Ramus on like
Oh.
Tuesday last week, and he couldn't play it. Like that's how poorly it runs. Like he literally, like we loaded
Wow.
up and he got like 5 frames. We tried to play for like 30 minutes. He literally couldn't play it. So he just like we just refunded it because like he literally couldn't play it, which was like so
Wow.
sad.
Yeah.
But they've said that like
Yikes.
they're prioritizing the servers and like the optimization and everything. So they like put their foot down. They're like, there's not going to be any content until we get the game running the way that they want it to, which is like that's so good. Like huge props to the devs.
Yeah.
That's the exact opposite of what we see in gaming
most
nowadays. So
yeah.
so I haven't been playing it a whole bunch because like I know that I'll burn myself out just like playing it by myself, and like I know that I just on like my past experience with like EFT where like I'm like so burnt out, like I don't want to do another task ever again. But like 4 of my 7 years playing that game were like all solo, and like I probably didn't need to spend 2 of those years by myself playing that game. And like I kind of wish that I'd waited a little bit, so like I had the motivation to go play with like Dragon and Ramus now, who are like high levels. Like they care more and they've played more deeper into these wipes than like Peanut Butter or Gunner or you or like anybody else did. Like I'd love to be playing with them right now, but like I'm just so not in the Tarkov mood that I can't bring myself to do it. So I'm giving it a bit of a breather. Sometimes I get the itch though, and you just gotta show up to the military's base and you just slaughter all those husbands and sons and fathers because you just have to.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there's the Gray Zone update, which will permanently be a part of my life now. I've decided because that is probably the best game ever in the making. Then I
Nice.
stumbled upon Dishonored.
Oh.
What do you have to say about that? You ever play?
I played it. I think I
Many
played.
moons ago.
Yes, many a moons ago on console.
Okay.
Um,
But
I
like, I'm
played it.
assuming you were a child and it didn't mean anything to you.
The second playthrough, I was older. I was in like it was like my freshman year of high school or something. I don't really remember it. I that's the thing. I remember it, but I would have to like see it and like hear about it and I'd be like, oh yeah, I remember that section of the game.
Yeah.
But like I if you just told me to recite it off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you anything about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but I remember being really fun. I did my playthrough full stealth the
Yeah,
second time.
dude, it
As a
is
kid, I doubt I did.
it is your kind of game. Like
Yeah, I love
exactly
stealth.
what you would
I
like.
love it.
It's kind of amazing. Like most of my interest is like stemming from like V Rising reignited my addiction to like the flintlock pistol, which I have an unhealthy obsession with. And I was like, I just want to play a game where I get to use that. And like I saw that it was in this game, and like I wanted to play Dishonored for like many years. And I like vaguely knew the story, and I knew that it's like a pretty famed game. And like I always kind of wanted to try it, but I just like never did. And then I saw that it had the flintlock, and my unhealthy obsessions running rampant. So I bought it and cranked 10 hours into it within the first 10 hours of owning it.
Nice.
And I've been pretty amazed. For like 2012, it holds up really well. The story's like really solid. I've like fallen into like a routine of watching like these 45 to 2 hour 45 minute to 2 hour long videos of like the essays that people do on it and explaining like all the little details and how like every person that you either kill or doesn't
I've
like
done
interacts
that.
with it. Dude, and I just
Yeah.
like a psychopath. Like I upgraded the gun all the way and I just like carrying around a max amount of ammo and just gunning everyone down. Because that's what I
Wow.
wanted to do. I wanted to shoot stuff. And now I'm like, maybe I should give it like a real playthrough and not just murder everyone the whole way through. Because that's not really how they intended for it to go. But yeah, easily one of the best games of all time, I would say. I really can't say anything bad about it. It's been really fun. Like enough so that like I'll probably play the next 2 games too. But it's like $10 right now. And this is definitely your style of game. If you don't remember very much from being a kid, you should pick it up and you should give it a go as an adult here. You might really, really like it. I've been amazed. Really, really great game. Really only have good stuff to say about it, I think.
Yeah, no, the thing is, I feel like if I picked it up, I would just instantly just kind of remember it because I would be doing the same thing I did because I remember my last playthrough. I spent a lot of time. I think it would just be faster
Yeah, maybe.
because I did a full stealth playthrough. Like I remember it very vividly because it took so long. I think it would just be
Yeah.
quicker because
Yeah,
like I
maybe.
just have a brain now. So
Yeah, anyway, it's been kind of it's a fun little treat. Like I always knew that like I wanted to play it and I'd watch videos and stuff on it like I said, but I don't know, I just never like got around to playing it. And yeah, amazing. So much more depth than I thought there was going to be. Kind of cool that like
yeah,
Bethesda's
I
last
love
few
the art
games were
style.
good.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why it sucks. All of my favorite IPs, like they all had the really good moments,
Yeah, dude.
and then they just
Bethesda
fell off
comes
so
out.
hard for no
They come
reason.
out going hard. Like Vegas hits, which is like you could ask half of people who've played video games, and like that's gonna be the best game of all time, right? So like
Yeah,
undoubtedly up there. Then they come out with Dishonored, which is like another large group of people is going to say
Yeah.
the best game ever. Then we get like Fallout 4, which is like a weak story, but like some of like the best other mechanics
Yeah,
and
I
like
think it's the best Fallout game mechanically
well, and then like in terms
by
of
far.
like um games being like very like wide, like the pool is very large, but then like anything that's like got a very large pool like that's usually pretty shallow. Like Fallout 4 is like pretty deep as far as like how wide it is. Like there's a
Yeah,
lot there.
well, that's one thing that all the Fallout, or at least the Fallouts that I've played 3, Vegas, and 4, and 76, and
We don't talk about that one though. That's not really a Fallout game. But yeah.
I've been replaying it, and it's still not really a Fallout game, but yeah. um, they've all been really good environment wise. Like if you pay, you could really just walk through it. Like if you want to pull like a gunner and just like walk through everything and just like do the main quest, and you could be done in and out in like 5 hours. But if you like look at everything, there's a lot of like environmental storytelling going on
Yeah.
around. Like if you just like stop and like read stuff every once in a while, or like just look, like there's a lot of cool stuff that you could find, or there's a lot of cool stories, like a lot of like the vaults, or a lot of there's insane stories in the Fallout universe
Yeah.
that I found fascinating.
And then they come out with like Dishonored 2, which is like what it's like up there
Another
with
game like
like
that,
Halo
yeah.
2 as far as like sequels go. And then like and then they're quiet for a couple of years and then we got Fallout 76, which is like inarguably the biggest disaster in gaming
Oh
history.
my gosh, dude, that game was a dumpster fire at
Yeah.
launch.
Kind of
Oh
crazy.
lord.
I didn't know that it was made by Bethesda. I guess technically it's not Bethesda's like the publisher, but like they had a pretty big hand in it. But like I didn't know that like they had anything to do with
Yeah.
it till I loaded up and I was like, wait a minute, like really?
Wait a
I didn't know they made good
second.
games other than that one time. But
Yeah, they did some good things. Now it's not bad. Now it's bad.
now
Now
it's
it's,
like
now it's not.
almost inarguable. It's like up. It's top 3. I think. Like I think my top 3 worst
It's
game companies. It used to be like Activision, Ubisoft, EA, and
I
like now it's easily EA,
I
Activision, Bethesda. Like Ubisoft is no longer up there for me.
I don't know if I'm getting uh taken by the marketing, but I'm really excited for this Black Ops 6 because
Of course, Ricky's excited for a
man,
Call of Duty.
no, I know that this last one was like this is the last one I'm gonna buy because this one was like
I
the
was worried you were about to
fourth
say
dumpster
X
fire.
Defiant instead of Black Ops 6.
Man, no, so this is like the first Call of Duty apparently in like a really long time that's gotten a full 4-year cycle of development before coming out. So the last Call of Duty that like had that was I think like Black Ops 3.
Yeah, dude, I was gonna say probably Black Ops 3, maybe
Like
like Infinity
that
Ward.
had, yeah, like and those games were great, and I'm pretty that is I feel like the biggest, I'm like I feel like Cold War would have been a really good Call of Duty if it had more time.
Just let it cook, right, guys?
They had like 8 months of like total development on it when it released.
Well, yeah, that's all
Like
you need to get the Fortnite skins in, so the peanut butter will buy them. I mean,
exactly, and it's like, but this is the first one in a while that's gotten a full 4-year cycle, so I'm excited for it, and it's based in the Gulf War, and
dude, I haven't seen
also
anything about it. You're saying it's called Black Ops 6? That's its
yeah,
actual name? That's so stupid.
yeah, there's a lot of like marketing around it. The marketing is actually kind of cool. It's talking about like the government lying to us, so yeah.
Yeah, dude, I just here look, I'm gonna move it on the screen. Look at this. I googled it. This is on their website.
Yep,
And
it's
it's Mount
probably,
Rushmore with the
yeah.
bandanas over the eyes. The truth lies. That's wild. Huh.
No, there's so many pictures. There a lot of their marketing is like different like world monuments with different like phrases and stuff, just basically talking about us being lied to and like them being deceitful.
Yeah, just another trend of Call of Duty being about 3 years late to the current meta. You know, just they're always just a little bit late.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And then apparently they posted like some posters in like New York or something, like in real life, that had it on
Took a
there.
page out of Nikita's book, huh? They saw that it was successful, so you may as well DMZ it, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
uh,
Man,
interesting.
I would have loved DMZ if they would have just let me have a stash. I probably would have actually maybe played it just maybe a little more and done more tasks, but I didn't. I never touched it off of surface level because I didn't have a stash.
Interesting. You have to look at this. I'm even seeing like zombies trailers. Like they're gonna have a true zombies
Yeah,
mode.
so it's I heard that it's kind of coming from the Cold War universe, which I'm happy about. The Cold War universe was kind of cool. It was just like Cold War was so bad at launch. And it was just like kind of like it was so I couldn't play it after a while.
Yeah. I can't play any of the COD games. I'd rather die.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'll have
Except
to.
when we played it for like 4 months straight.
I'll have to. I'll have to look
Or
at that,
blast our
and
range.
we'll have to talk about that on the next episode. I'll do some more research. I didn't even know. Dude. It looks like it's pretty recent.
It's
Like
pretty
last couple
recent, like
days.
the
Yeah.
last like 3 days, I think.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'll have to look into that. We'll have to talk about it a little
And
bit more later.
the only reason I'm excited for it is the 4 year cycle. Like
Yeah.
just because of that, like
Hopefully,
that's the only reason that it's
hopefully some game developers got some time to develop
use their
their game.
brains.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Dang, that's interesting. If I had to bet money, it'll just be flop, and it'll be a shallow money pit. So there you
Yeah,
go. I've
that's
lost.
that's their track record. I
I've
don't
lost
blame
all respect for all Call of Duty everything. So
them. Yeah,
now, hopefully they can make like a return to greatness. I mean, like we're seeing it with a lot of other titles. Like Halo Infinite is like this is another thing that Zach and I talk about. Like I am like still kind of hesitant to say it, but like it's probably the best Halo ever made. Like it's probably better than Reach. Like it is an amazing,
yeah, because it's a
amazing
good
like
combo of like all of them.
well, but like it leans way more heavily into like the original Halo series. Like it really just is like it's what we should have gotten after Reach. Like that's what it is. If you can ignore 4 and 5, like and if this could just be the next one, like it might just be yeah. I've been super amazed with like the time that we spent in Halo Infinite. Like truly a return to like the greatest like genre. And I'm happy that like that happened because I was worried that Halo was gonna be dead forever. So it was kind of fun. Kind of fun to see that. So hopefully Call of Duty can do it too, but I doubt it. Highly, highly doubt it. But we'll see.
Yeah, well, maybe they made enough money on
Maybe they
Frontier.
made enough money. Wow. Dude, let me get a hit of that copium. Let me get a hit of that. Holy. Maybe they made enough money. Wow. The
They
guy
re-release Rebirth right now.
the guy who stands
They
up and
re
says that at the board meeting gets immediately fired. He's like, guys, listen, I think we got enough. Can we take 2 years off and make a good game? And they're like, get him out of here.
I mean, they just re-released Rebirth for like the fourth time, so maybe they have enough.
That's brutal. Absolutely brutal. Well, that's cool. Some COD news from our COD guy. I should have expected it. You
Yeah,
know,
you're welcome. You're a residential COD guy, but so with your daily COD news.
daily COD news. uh, kill me, just kill me. They're not
I
even.
still have never unfollowed them on Twitter, so I still just get like every update
That's pretty
ever.
brutal. That's pretty brutal.
I still keep up with it just a little bit, just to see how bad it's getting. And wow, I just like will like watch the trailers for each season and stuff, and it's so funny.
Well, hopefully they don't screw that up. You know, fingers crossed. But I have more stuff.
Here's
I have more stuff that I wanted to talk about. Um, But we are well over the allotted time. So we're going to push it to the next one because I'm going to go deeper down that rabbit hole probably in the next week here. And we'll just talk about it on the next go abouts. I think I'm pretty happy with the hour that we were able to fill here. Any final words that you want to give before we tie this one off?
Mm, I can't think of anything. No.
Well, a quick moment of silence. R.I.P. for our guest who was supposed to be on the show, but Idaho's internet said no, we weren't allowed.
Who was supposed to be here?
Mr. Marine King, you know.
Oh, okay.
And Dragon was gonna show up too, but the weather decided the internet wasn't gonna work, so we didn't get to have him. But
That's sad.
so anyway, I think that's it. I think we're good. I think we're gonna tie it off there, and we'll
Alrighty.
catch everybody on the next one.
Well, bye bye.